Hey, last time I almost knocked my glasses on the floor.
Yeah, I understand.
I wear these glasses because I noticed when I did my other interviews, I blink a lot, so it looks like I have Tourette's. Now I kind of wish I was doing this from the beginning. Now I can hide my eyes. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. That bothered me. I was blinking a lot. Just let me know when you're ready.
Okay, better now than ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and welcome to 202. I'm here with Ms. Saaresto, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
No problem.
Now, for people who want to know what uncensored is, uncensored is my way of showing people that even with a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities or disabilities in general. But you should prove to people that I keep screwing up this part. Basically, I'm turning myself into an example saying, look, I'm handicapped, I'm retarded, I have a disability, but look at what I'm able to accomplish. And I'm saying and turning myself into a perfect example for that to people out there saying, okay, I'm in a wheelchair, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. People have been labeling me. You should never have people label you, and you should prove to them you can still amount to something. Don't mind me, I haven't done my interviews since December. I've been re-uploading all my interviews, so I'm really rusty at doing my interviews. As you can tell, I'm freaking blistering it as I speak. But I've been preoccupied re-uploading all 200 episodes. Now we're back up to where I was. Well, actually, I was in 300s, but that's another thing we can get into in a little bit. But we're getting the ball rolling again. I'm getting more practice at this, and so I'm not so rusty. So without me rambling and on sounding like an idiot, what can you tell us about yourself and how's your childhood growing up?
Oh, that's crazy. I did not have a great childhood. That has nothing to do with what I am now, though. My parents divorced. Best thing they could have done for us. Kind of screwed us up. Horrible mother, alcoholic. But it did teach me how to be a mom. So I'm like a goth mom, and I'm a little bit nicer. Gosh, we moved around a little bit, and I tried really hard for people to leave me alone. It's easier that way, I think.
No, absolutely. I'm the youngest out of four brothers and one sister. My parents are still together, but grown up, I have had friends who had their families, parents divorced, and I understand it's really difficult. And a lot of people are like, well, it's easy for you to say because you weren't there, you don't know. The truth of the matter is, and you may think I'm just some full shit, but I'm a very sensitive person. I have a good heart. I do a lot of stupid things, but I I take things to heart because that's who I am. I may be sensitive, but I am a good person, and I know, and I can get the impression that life was hard, and that's not like an excuse, and I'm not ass kissing or anything, but if you're like I said, I'm rusty at this. You look at it like from your point of view, you're looking at me like, oh, you have a perfect house, you have a perfect family. If
Oh,
I, no, I'm not saying hypothetically, and I'm looking at you, and it's kind of like I'm on the outside looking in, and you're on the inside looking out. So there's got to be two different point of views of life. But we're all the same people. We all come from the same place. We all make mistakes. It doesn't matter white, black, Asian, goth, normal. We're all the same people. And overall, it's all of a learning experience. It's basically an experience that says, I overcame life dealing with a learning disability. I'm showing people, even to this day, that even though I'm handicapped, look at what I'm capable of doing. And with everything you went through, you're now a proud mom, and you said, I now say, congratulations.
Thank you.
And you say, I overcame everything from my childhood. And you trying to not beat around the bus, but you get the idea. It's all of an experience. And again, I apologize. I'm really rusty at this. I take a lot of pride in my talk show. I love it. Yeah, but I've been so sidetracked with working my job, re-uploading my interviews. I'm rusty.
You do fine. You're good.
No, I appreciate it. I'm going to ask you a couple more easy ones, and I'm going to pass it over to you.
All right.
And when I messaged you about saying, can you be a little more upbeat, basically what I meant by that is I interviewed a guy before, and I don't know if it's the stereotypical Gothic thing, but he was like this. Hi, how are you? And I'm like, okay, how long has it been? Oh, it's only been 5 minutes? Oh, Jesus. But, I'm not saying he's a great guy, but I'm just like, I put on a mask, you put on a mask, but, have fun with it. You're making a new friend, and it's kind of like, I take a lot of pride in my talk, so no disrespect, I didn't mean to bitch to you, but, I try to give the best product. I interviewed, now I'm going to ask you about your college years, but I just want to finish this little rant. I interviewed WWE superstars. I interviewed TNA superstars, actors, actresses, models, CEOs. Unfortunately, I didn't know at the time, but, there were a couple people that I kind of wish I didn't do. I'm not going to go into that. But, hint, I should have did a little more research. I didn't know there were. Yeah, I'm not gonna even answer that one. So, but I interview everyone, whites, blacks, Spanish, and growing up, I always loved the Gothic thing. I was about 15. I mean, it was about 2002, 2003 when I was in freshman in high school. And wearing all black and dressing cool, for Halloween I dressed up as Eric Bischoff, WCW wrestler and a promoter. And sophomore year I was Randy Orton, Celeste, Ric Flair, and then a couple other wrestlers. So by basically dressing up, it helps me get my persona out there. It helps me express myself. And I always liked the whole Gothic girls. It's like, why do you like Gothic girls? They're weird, they're creepy, they're this, they're that. And it's like, first off, they're women. I love women. I ain't gay. So unless you don't love women, you have something wrong with you, or you're coming out of the closet. But that's your business, whatever. I don't judge. But, women are women. And it's basically, hey, we live only once, you gotta do what you do. Yeah. I'm gonna finish up that rant, but I basically dress up to express myself, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah.
Now, with that being said, what can you tell us about your college years?
Well, I am in the middle of my college years.
Ah, all right.
Yeah. I'm business management. I have like 10 credits left.
Oh, nice. So what can you do? Well, what influenced you to get into that? And is it like online business or what type of business?
It will be online, like for larger girls. I wanted to be my own boss. No one telling me, no piercings, no makeup, you have to do this and act this way, and no, you can't talk about cemeteries at work. And I like the Victorian style corsets and stockings, and you can't find those for bigger women without looking really bad and paying a lot of money. So I wanted to kind of get a store that sells that at a good price for bigger women, and you don't have to look like you're wearing a shower curtain.
No, absolutely. You know, while on the subject, I was a big fan of Hot Topic. Yeah,
Uh,
I think the first time a Hot Topic, no, the good one, not the shitty one that's there today. The
yeah.
good one back in, what was it, 2000? First time I was there was 2004, 2005. It was great, you know, it catered to the Gothic things. I had my first pair of pants with the chains on it.
Oh, trip band.
You're gonna think this is funny, but I can get to the funny stories in a while. Actually, I can tell you now if you want.
Oh, sure.
For my high school graduation, I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be hip. So I wore my Gothic pants to my graduation. This is the whole practice thing. And I was basically tripping over myself. And everyone's walking ahead of me, and I keep tripping over the chains, and they're like, oh, what's the hold up? This guy keeps tripping himself. It's like, what? So I end up sticking the chains in my pants. It's like, yes, I want to say, hey, I look cool, but I really feel ridiculous. Why am I wearing these? I don't know. It's like, but you know, the good Hot Topic, that's how I got into it. There's a girl who I went to school with. Her name was Kat. And I had a crush on her. Yeah, she had a pale skin and black lipstick. And I was like, well, I love women. And girls are girls. And something about it triggered something in my mind. It's like, I like it because it's different and it's unique. And I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but
It's good.
it's always good to be different.
It's more fun.
No, absolutely. Now, is that going back to the first one? Like I said, I'm out of rhythm, so I apologize. For your online business, I would love to help you promote it. You promote me, I promote you, and you know, it's a win-win. And going to Hot Topic. It's really sad and depressing because I grew up in, you know, Hot Topic and Spencer's, and I don't know if you ever heard of the store called TSX.
No.
I don't know what it is, but it had band shirts, it had rock and roll. And at the time, like, the Gothic thing was a whole big thing. You know, Spencer's, I can show you afterwards. I have my statues, the dragons. And, you know, I had the baggy pants, it's the chains. I got, you know, a ton of Iron Maiden stuff. You know, Halloween, Nightwish. You know, a couple of great things. And now you go there today, and you're like, did I just step into a Barney show or something? It's like, what is this?
It's sad now.
Don't get me wrong, you know, email goth, it's fine. But what gets to me, it's like, they just completely push all the Gothic stuff to the back. Maybe there's a tiny selection, and there's pink and blue, and that's fine. You know, I have nothing about that, and now I'm gonna change back to my normal look. You know, fair is fair. Yeah, but like I said, you know, there's like this pink and blue, and that's fine. I love pink. It takes a real man to wear pink. But it's kind of like you went from Gothic to kitty skater.
It's really bad these days. I went 2 months ago. I went into the one in St. Louis, into the Columbia, and I found this, like, it was for some kind of costume, but it was red. And I asked the woman, I said, hey, could I order this in black? And she flipped out on me. She says, not everything has to be in black. So I told her, if you want that $80, you're going to get it in black. But yeah, it's horrible anymore. I knew a couple years ago, I went in to get some stuff for when he was a baby, and they had Lady Gaga and Nicki Minaj, and I knew Hot Topic would never go back to what it used to be.
Now, do you think that it's a phase, or do you think it's like, well, I know I asked you the first question, about your college years, but when you went into your college years, were you a goth, or two questions in one, if you don't mind. One, for your college years, was it a phase, and how did all that come about? Make a long story short, to combine two things in one.
All right. Well, my birth date is actually Halloween, so I was always around it. When I was little, I couldn't. I had the striped stockings and never looked completely like the other kids. And as I got older and they started letting me pick out my own things, it just happened. I was goth before I think anybody, and it's if it's a phase, it's a 20 some year phase, and I'll be 90 with my walker and a coffin, and I'll be doing it for the rest of my life, and I can't imagine being anything else.
No, absolutely. For me, I still wear black. I never got the same skin tone, but I'm more of a punker, a rebel. But it fits me, and it fits you, it fits me, and so how you express yourself. And the reason I asked, for your college years, is it like trying to explain? And it sounds like I said, I'm so out of touch with my talk show. It's kind of like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to be a talk show host. And I admit I'm out of touch, out of practice, but, two questions about the college, and then we can go back to the Gothic one. I know I'm going back and forth between the two. I'm like a ping pong ball. Now, when you were in college and you're apparently still in college, are you a study nerd or party animal?
Well, when I started college, I already had a kid, and I always thought I traded in the liquor bottles for the baby bottles, and never was really much of a partier. I'm the one who will take you home when you can't drive. So probably more studying than partying.
Did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or not a human pyramid girl?
No, I'd be mean and try to hurt people doing it.
Now, I asked you the easy ones. Now I'm going to ask you some hard-hitting ones, and then we can go back and forth. But the first one I was going to ask you is it true, from what I have experienced, do you think, and someone said this in my last interview, that you do have to be mentally disturbed to be a Gothic, number one? Is that true? And number two, is it people being moody, stereotyping? And what I mean by that, there was this website called IMVU.
Yeah.
And I used it, I can't even talk. I used it occasionally, and people were so flaky. And then, okay, because you're in an imaginary world, you don't really know who you're talking to. But recently I went on Facebook and looked up for Gothic girls. And they were so fidgety and so, uppity or bitchy or moody. And it's kind of like, I don't understand what the problem is. It's kind of like, we're all normal people. I'm basically, when I introduced myself to you, and going on the record, when I first introduced myself to you, what was your honest opinion, number one? And what made you say yes? And do you think all people should give me a chance, regardless, whites, black, Asian, Gothics, non-Gothics? Do you think the cause that I'm doing should be good enough for anyone? Do you think that should be good?
Oh, yeah, I think it's a great cause. And when I first saw you, I didn't think you were any different than anybody else. You were just some guy with a smile asking to be my friend. And then I got the thing that says, like your radio station. I thought, oh, sure, why not? It might be fun. And I never thought anything different of you until you told me that there were other things, and it doesn't affect my opinion of you any. Except for my child, who doesn't like when other people get attention from me, and apparently we need the cat here.
No, that's fine.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Yeah.
Cute kid.
I do like Marvel.
He only looks normal. He's completely crazy.
Does he wear the makeup too?
Occasionally, sometimes he has the mohawk. He does. He doesn't have a style. He's whatever he feels like that day.
Have you ever heard of monster trucks?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Grave Digger?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that's my favorite. The green and black.
Oh, honey, everyone knows who Gravedigger is. Everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
I haven't heard that in a long time, though.
Yeah, I had this game called Monster Jam Path of Destruction.
Oh, okay, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, that turned out good. Okay.
How old is he?
He's 8. He's 8.
Turning 9 this year.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah.
Are you a WWE wrestling fan?
Yeah, John Cena.
He's pretty good. Now, do you like John Cena, Super Cena now, or do you like him when he was a bad guy?
I only have seen him as Super Cena.
He's good, but do you think he's overrated?
I don't know.
Okay, one more question for you. Do you think he's better than Hulk Hogan?
Huh?
Do you think he's better than Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Do you know who Hulk Hogan is?
No.
Oh, you never listened to him.
I know, there's a generation gap.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to pass the show over to you. Was there any subjects you want to talk about? Anything you want to talk about?
So when you found me, did you just be like, "Oh, that's it? That's a goth girl," or was there a reason you picked me?
Like I said, I interview everyone, and it's all about giving people a chance. So I basically went down the whole entire list. And actually, if you can help me find more Gothic girls, I really appreciate it. But go ahead.
I can try, but not. It's not that they're goth, that they have that personality. It's just the person themselves.
Right.
Not always very kind, and that you get that stereotype where we're very moody or depressed, or we cut ourselves when really we're not all that bad. Not all of us, anyway. I think probably the biggest stereotype that I've heard about goths is that 1, we're all satanic, and 2, that we all love The Crow. And
right.
I hate to say it, but that is my favorite movie, but not because I'm goth. And I'm sure a lot of us are satanic. I used to be, so I can't tell anybody that we're not all that way, but I will definitely try to find some more for you that are not horrible. And no, don't do that. No one's sorry. He really wants this to be about him today.
Well, you can do a double interview if you want.
Oh, okay. Say hi.
Hi.
No, he doesn't know what the moth is. You're doing something he doesn't know.
What's the moth?
It's my favorite band. It's their logo, and he tries to do it for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, so you mean the bat thing?
It's a moth, but
just
it's like
2 fingers.
Yeah, it's hard.
Besides the thumbs.
If you don't know how to do it often, it's hard to do.
Yeah. I know a way you can do it besides like just doing this. Just putting your hand this like this.
Oh, can he do this?
Yeah, can you Vulcan?
No.
The late great Leonard Nimoy. Live long and prosper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not everybody's living long and prospering right now.
Right. Actually, are you a wrestling fan? And did you hear about China who passed away?
She was my favorite growing up. I felt horrible. And people were like, "Oh, well, figures, drug overdose." Well, that doesn't matter. She was a good woman.
No, she was. See, I felt bad for her because she had a breakdown. There's this whole big thing that that I don't know how much of it you know, but she was engaged to Triple H, Paul Levesque, and at the same time he was engaged to her, he was also going out and engaged to Stephanie McMahon. And okay, I see it from his point of view. You want to marry the boss's daughter. You want to get money. You want to move up in life and be established. Okay, but at least be a man and I know your son's here, but grow a set and say, hey, I know we were dating, but I'm sorry, I fell in love with somebody else. Okay, that's a normal thing to do. Not drag them along and say, yeah, we're gonna get married. And meanwhile, you're going out with someone else the whole time and doing the same thing. It's ridiculous. But I think she had a great career, number one. First woman to be in the Royal Rumble. First woman to be Intercontinental Champion. And no one will ever take that away from her. But do I think she handled the entire thing horribly? Yeah, okay, I admit you gotta be depressed in a while. Or, turn Gothic. Until I express yourself. No disrespect. But, it's just, do something. Turn your persona, I would love to see China into a Goth, the whole demeanor.
That would have been awesome.
And I just think she just took it hard. And, when she came back recently, I think 2010, 2012, when she came back in TNA Wrestling, that's like she looked amazing. I was like, oh, cool, this is got to be a start of a comeback. And then she disappears, and it's kind of like, I don't know, my friend Vince Russo said he saw this coming 2 years ago. I don't know, it's just kind of like... It's hard. Now, with that being said, I'm going to ask you both 2 questions, and then you can pass it back to me. So we're going to ask each other 5 hard-hitting subjects. So I pick one, and you can pick one.
Okay.
Do you believe in life after death? And do you believe that we are energy?
I do believe in life after death. I believe that we go to Valhalla. And yeah, we have souls. We're full of energy, and souls are memories that you make in life, and they're, good or bad depending on who you are and what you do with what you got.
No, absolutely. Do you believe in John Edwards? Not the guy who had an affair, but the guy from Crossing Over.
No, I don't think so.
I have to send you the link. He's really cool. I went to a show he did, and a lot of people say he does background checks on people. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I really don't know the guy. But there was a couple, how I'm looking at you right now, to my left, there was a couple. And I swear to God, this is what happened. He said, I see someone in this audience looking right at us. I see someone in this audience who lost a family member. I was like, okay, I see where it's going. It's gonna be me. That would be nice if it was me. But he said it's not directly at me. It's to the left. And I see there was a gun. And it's like, and if you don't want me to talk about it, your son's here, I apologize.
No, it's okay. He's open-minded.
He said, I see a gun. And there was a shooting. And there was a report that said it was accidental. And a couple said, yes, I can't remember if it was my son or my friend or my daughter was playing with her friend with the gun, and the gun went off. It was accidental. He said, well, he's here with me right now, and he wants me to tell you it was not accidental. And the next thing you know, these 4 people jumped up and ran out of the building. And it's kind of like, John Edward never met you. And how did he know that?
Oh, you mean the guy who speaks to people and he's like the medium between
Yes.
people and the dead? Oh, I remember him, yes.
He has his own website. It's like $65 to sign up. So I would love to have him on the show, but $65 is kind of like a lot. Okay, now it's your turn.
Okay. Are you married?
Due to the fact I have a learning disability, I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
That is the reason you're not going to get married.
Well, it's one, I'm scared of getting married because one, I'm trying to take care of myself. Now, being completely honest, I'm trying to take care of myself, get through one day to another. And my biggest fear is what happens, or what if my son or daughter has a disability. It's bad enough I can't handle myself or being around with people with disabilities. That's one reason I'm doing a talk show, to get over that. But like I said, I'm very sensitive, and I know it's like, oh, he sounds like an ass. But he's like, I don't know, it bothers me. But, it's, I do hope I get married. I do hope I find the right person out there. But right now, my main goal is to get myself started, get my career started in the talk show, and just see where life takes me.
And that's good. You want to be a whole person before you try to bring somebody else in. And you may find somebody who is completely adapt to who you are. And you may adopt kids, or your kids may be just fine.
This is kind of funny you should have mentioned adoption. I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if I adopted one of each? A white kid, a black kid, a Asian kid, so I have my own little United Nations.
Yeah.
I know that sounds terrible, but it's, my family has a history of heart conditions, bad eyes. I was like, yeah, adopting kids sound pretty good right now.
And there are probably a lot of kids with, different disabilities too that won't get adopted because of that. And they wouldn't mind being in a home with somebody who can understand them.
Mommy, can you turn it over this way?
But it is hard. He has some disabilities that he is hereditary from his father, and he's the one who bashed me in the head last night. And it's not always easy, but I wouldn't imagine having him any other way, or not having him at all. I couldn't do it. I'd rather have him the way he is than not have him at all.
No, absolutely. I completely understand. And it's, I don't know, I guess I'm on the outside looking in, because I'm not there, and it never happened to me, so I'm reflecting. But, I do hope things work out for me, knock on wood. And things work out for you guys, knock on wood. And it's kind of like, hey, we live on, and you think I'm going to sound morbid, but given the opportunity, and this is my next question, then you can ask me something.
Okay.
Given the opportunity, knowing everything you know now, would you do your life over? Or would you be too bothered by the fact that you know everything now that you would try to speed things up to get to the point where you are now when you do your life over?
I try not to live with, making regrets. If I think it's a bad decision, I try not to do it. There are one or two things that I would definitely, about 6 years ago, because we befriended a family member, they wanted a little boy, and they made sure that they got our little boy. And we spent the last 6 years with something popping up at every turn, fighting for him back. And that is the one thing in my life that if I could change differently, that I would have never been friends with that person and never put my family in that position. Other than that, I don't think I would do anything over. I think I would do everything that I've done the same.
Yeah, absolutely. You were talking about family problems. About going, before I tell you what happened to me in my drama in high school and wrapping up. If I died and did my life over, I would have started my talk show a lot sooner. There was a lot of people who I would have introduced myself a lot sooner. Well, first off, it's easy to say that. But I don't know when Skype came out. That's now because we do a Skype video. It's got to be cut in half. But there was no Skype recorder 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So doing the interviews over, MySpace Messenger, AIM, or Yahoo, you would see the video quality change, but you kind of need Skype, unless you were hanging out in person. You have to have your own studio.
Yeah.
But I would have done my talk show a lot sooner, and there was a lot of people who I became friends with the first time I came up with them again, but they disappeared. I had a lot of people on Facebook and MySpace who I became friends with, and who were Gothic, who weren't. But I have no idea. They're like a hole in a wall now. But going back to my biggest regret is I say a lot of stupid crap. And there was this woman back in high school, well, middle school, who basically had, make a long story short, had a vendetta. And how your son likes wrestling, and I bet he reenacts the wrestling moves, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I used to do that too. And I used to play with the toys so close to my face, so that time I banged the toys together, it always bounced back and hit me in the face or whatever. Or I would used to jump off my mom's bed to do like the Randy Savage elbow drop. So I used to get like carpet burns. Make a long story short, there was this nut job person who basically, my brother had a splinter in his finger. It's all in my book found writing. My brother had a splinter in his finger. She tried to remove it, and she got half of it out, and she jammed the other half deep into his finger. So he had to get his finger cut open. And my mom came in and what happened to his finger? That we don't know, Mrs. Blah blah blah. He came in like that. Oh, that's not what happened. She tried to remove it. Oh, don't listen to him. So my mom reported her, wanting to get her fired. So this nut job person wanted to get back at my mom, since she knew I had a learning disability. Well, what better way to get back at someone than go after someone who can't defend themselves? So they went after me, and one thing led to another, and then I basically told them the truth. I like reenacting wrestling moves and yada yada. That I opened a fake case of child abuse. So every day when someone came to the door, I was his age. I used to cry. He was like, I don't want to be taken out of the house. And it started as this whole big thing. But, one thing I would have done over, it made sure that wouldn't have happened. But basically, with what I went through and what you went through, it's a learning experience. And it makes you into a better person, or it makes you a stronger person. And, I'm going to give you the last two subjects, last two questions. You guys can ask me one of each. And this is your show after all. Like I said, I haven't done my show as of late, so I'm really rusty at it. But I hope I didn't bore you with the details. Or
You want to ask a question?
We're wrapping up. Each of you can ask me a question, and then we can wrap up.
Go ahead, ask him a question.
Have you ever heard of Becky Lynch, a wrestler?
Absolutely, I have a crush on her.
I bet you do too.
Yeah.
Oh, she is a beautiful woman. I like the Irish accent.
Yeah, I really do like her last move.
What is it? Oh, the armbar.
Yeah.
Okay. Thinking of things that aren't political. Do you play like Dungeons and Dragons?
I heard of it, but I have to actually do it. I have it right here. Hang on for a second.
Okay.
Actually, I got something for you. You may like. And I'm knocking stuff over. That's terrific. You know, when I was his age, and I still have it today, you mentioned Dungeons and Dragons. I have actually the cartoon series. I collect all cartoons from the 80s, and it's really dusty too. I collect all cartoons from the 80s and 90s, and that's basically what I did when I was his age. We have a whole closet over here filled of, Dungeons and Dragons, He-Man, She-Ra, and Silverhawks, and that's what I grew up to every day. But I want to show you that when I was your age, actually this is more my brother's than mine, but I'm holding on to it. This is Shawn Michaels. You know who Shawn Michaels is, right?
No.
Hey, Shawn Michaels is a wrestler, and this is a toy of him from 1992.
Oh. 1992?
And most recent, I have, he's kind of falling apart, but I have Raven. This is from 98.
So, 98.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's still way before you. I was 9.
Let's see, whatever ones I have. Well, actually, I was going to hold off on this, but do you have any of your own wrestling belts?
No.
I have a little one.
Well, which one do you have? Well, let's compare this. We're wrapping up. You show me your wrestling belt, I'll show you mine.
Where is it?
My little one's in my mom's car, so yeah, I can tell you about it.
It's like for an action figure.
It's like for.
Alright, he'll show you his.
For a toy, I actually have, I don't know if you can see it, it's the, I'm holding it wrong. It's the TNA wrestling belt. I started my own collection of TNA wrestlers, unless, unfortunately, the toys fell apart. But one thing I do have when I was your age is I got this back in 1997. It is the WWF Intercol Championship.
Oh. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, the little one I have it's like the one that
I think it's just the championship.
the WWE Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, it's like that one.
That's really cool. I actually have my own wrestling belt that I created. Actually, I will show you. I've been holding off because I was supposed to, make a long story short, is that I originally did 300 interviews, and this is why I'm so pissed off and why I'm all out of sync with it. I got up to 300 interviews. And I tried to be copyrighted. People say to me, you should be trademarked, you should do this, you should do that. So I got up to 300. And little by little, people were coming out of the woodwork saying, yeah, and this is how they talk. Yeah, my agent said to me, or my publicist said to me, yeah, I'm trying to make you laugh, by the way. That, you should take it down. It's really bad. Why you have to ask questions like that? Well, you could have asked me to re-edit it, but there's this magazine called Crowns.com, and if you go to it, and you would really like this because you're into the whole Gothic thing, you can create your own statues, and this one really means a lot to me. I was gotta wait to 300, but the hell was it? I created my own championship belt.
You made that?
Awesome!
Not bad for $200.
No.
It's made of custom leather. I designed the logo. Can you see it?
Yeah.
I designed the whole thing, and it's really nice. I came up with 300. It's like, well, what's your 300th interview? And it's going to be around 3 years for June. Why don't you do something special? Well, I do like the WWF, WWE. I am a wrestling fan, and I need something to promote my talk show. Why not create my own belt?
Yeah.
So you guys are actually the first ones to ever see it officially. I have a real promo interview on my website introducing it, but this is actually the first time I actually showing it.
Well, you did a great job on it. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the reason I bring it up is, what is your favorite logo? Maybe your mom can make you your own belt.
What's your favorite logo?
TMNT for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Oh, I bet he knows who they are.
Yep.
For MC Mikey. Yeah.
You want me to make you an MC Mikey belt?
It's TMNT MC Mikey.
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
No, it was really cool, and it's basically, this belt, it's not just for me, but it's for you guys, and it's for people out there saying, this kid has a learning disability, but look at everything he can accomplish. And this belt represents all my hard work, and I'm turning myself into an example for you guys. This belt is an example saying, if a kid with a learning disability can make it 3 years and do over, counting the old ones I have, 300 plus interviews, then you can be a wrestler if you wanted to. You can be a Gothic girl if you wanted to. You can be a singer. I interviewed people who was an actor who's in a wheelchair. I interviewed someone who has a cerebral palsy, but he's a filmmaker. So, people like to label you as this and that. But the truth of the matter is, you live only once. Do what you love. And don't have any regrets. Because at the end of the day, as you know who Rocky is, right? Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
No.
As Sylvester Stallone says, and this is a quote that I stand by, it's not about how hard life hits you. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's what winners do. And don't blame him or her for your mistakes or why I'm not here or I'm not there. Because cowards don't blame people. And you're not a coward. Because you guys are capable of doing what you're doing. I'm capable of doing what I'm doing. And it's all about proving to people. Like Chris Benoit used to say, the late great Chris Benoit, prove me wrong. I know that was a really bad example after everything he did, but he is one of my favorite wrestlers. That's never going to change. But wrapping up the interview segment, I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Wait,
Thank you for inviting
we have
us.
someone that wants to see the belt.
Say hi.
Hi.
Say hey to Loki. Say hi.
There's a cute little kitty.
Holding it.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye.
You gotta wait. You gotta go by now. You have to leave.